Good afternoon and welcome to the daily wrap-up here with ForexAnalytix. And we're looking at a relatively quiet day, although we've seen the euro pressing up here against the bias chart resistance. You can see we had 1060. We actually got up to 1060 when we turned around and rolled right down about 20 pips, maybe a little bit more than 20 pips from our bias chart resistance. And as I said, if you want to get on with ForexAnalytix, we do the bias chart during the European crossover webinar. And then, of course, I posted in the room, then I posted again a little bit later on. And as I always mentioned before, Stelios records the European crossover webinar. For those that don't want to watch it or are not able to watch it live, if they're asleep, they trade the New York session. But he then does go and post a recording about an hour and a half before the New York session trade starts. So we had 1060. We popped up there and rolled off about 20 pips, attacked it, came off a little bit. We're trying to push just a little bit higher currently right now. But it's been relatively quiet right now. We have the dollar yen pressing a little bit higher. Now we do have today's bias chart resistance is coming in right there at 730 or 729. We pressed up a little bit higher above the 709. We're kind of working a little bit lower, kind of open the door, see if they can't push up a little bit closer. I was working a limit. I wanted to go in and short it myself around 729, 730. I think we had see on the bias chart resistance for today. 730, yeah. So I was thinking we might be able to push up there, but looked like kind of pushing back a little bit. Amanda said in the chat room, I think she sold 714. Let's take a look here, and just a little bit of hijinks with the cable. Now, one pair that we've seen move a little bit here that I don't generally cover, and we'll jump into that. Is actually on the dollar Swiss. And let me go and move into this quickly. Now, looking on the 2-hour chart, we had a nice hanging man. Okay, so a few of us took some stabs on the short side. I didn't stick around too long. A couple of guys, I know one of the guys, same thing. We both got out about the same time, just under 99. I think he took half off. I took mine all off. Amir, I know he had a great entry. I think he sold like 99.11. But here's the key. For one thing, a couple of sessions, I haven't traded dollar Swiss in a while. But here's the key. If you look on the 2-hour chart, we definitely got the buy signal back here, okay, with the momentum. You can see that. Although generally I use the exponential moving averages with the 30-minute, okay? So you can see we've got a nice generated a very nice buy signal here, and we've been moving higher. Here's my concern though. A couple of things I will point out, and I was pointing out in the room. I go, hey, look, you see right here coming across here. If you're short this market, you definitely don't want to see this market close above 99.02 on a daily, and we're just above it right now, or right almost at it. We're actually currently what, 95.06. But here's my concern is not only did we get a nice buy signal on the exponential moving averages, a lot of these markets just move on momentum, is that if you look here on the Euro Swiss, and that's definitely a pair that I rarely ever take a look at. But here, look at this. You see here, we're breaking above 95.01 right here, and we're still pushing up a little bit higher. Matter of fact, we're above 50 pips above that area here. So we're still pushing higher, and it looks like it's trying to, clear this area. And that's a pretty good key area right there, that 95.01. If we were going to, as you can see here, the market trying to press above it. So we're getting a little bit of, let's move it back into the 2-hour chart. There we go. So it's going to be key if we can get above this 95.01 and stay above it. And that's certainly going to give us a little bit of an extra boost here. Now, once again, the dollar Swiss isn't necessarily taking off, but once again, as I mentioned, if you're holding this thing, you're short, you definitely don't want to see this thing close on a daily above 99.02. If not, it really opens the door for us to press higher. We'll see what happens here. I was happy to go and exit out. I mean, like I said, I'd rather see some momentum. I always have the tendency to come in a little bit early. And so I'd like to see some momentum build that way. And if it starts to break, okay, then I can always jump back in and join in for a better push. Looking at the peso, matter of fact, we're going to get to the peso, dollar peso. And let's move into the screen. So we're looking for this area here. We mentioned on the bias chart today on the peso. We were looking for 1950. Okay, and turns out, and I think I talked in the chat room because we were dipping, and at the time, I think we were at 1947.7. Actually, was a low at that time. I said, hey, this is a very good area here for the peso. I said we have supported, the 1950s also the 50% back of this entire move. And that was a good little area right there. You see that? 1947.4, and I think the low was 1947.7. We did have our bias chart support here today at 1950, but when I mentioned in the chat room, hey, good area right here. We've since gone to move higher. I mean, this has already come off quite a bit. If you remember when we did the analysis from last, not this Sunday, but from last week, we were already looking for this market to slide. At the time, we said that the prior Friday, not this past Friday, but the Friday before, we'd close at 2005, and we're looking for a move to 1985 with the potential to get down to 1968. And we did go on to come down there. You can see that 1967 level. And then as we stayed weak over the course of last week, and they really pushed them hard. And we even closed at the time, I think Friday's bias chart support was 1956. So we pressed it even further. And then that's when I looked on here. 1950 was the 50%. And this morning we came here and saw a good, nice level with this 1947.4. And you can see we're up. I haven't done anything with the peso in a little bit, but that was a good area. As a matter of fact, I almost jumped in it. It was actually, when we got down there, we just kind of sat there like a bump on a log. And like I said, after a huge fall like this, could we slide a little bit more? Yeah, potentially. I mean, I thought, you could, and I'd mentioned that. If not, we could even see some great support at this 1937 area. You can see here, dollar mix is closed just below the support level, 1956. And that was from this last week. This is the analysis over the weekend. The pair should find support at 1950. That's the 50% of 1875 to 2025. With additional support at 1937. So I thought, okay, look, if it drops there, I'll buy it, no questions asked. But today, I guess, wasn't a bad day, but overall, the market's been generally quiet. The big event, obviously, is going to be ECB day, and certainly ECB, we're pressing a little bit higher here, finally, with the euro above this bias chart. But that bias chart resistance held it good for a pullback of over 20 pips, and then we attacked it, and then we pulled back, I think, about another 10 pips maybe, and now we're reasserting ourselves again. And it looks like we want to go in and push a little bit higher. Dollar index coming into a little bit of support here at 98.14, which is the bottom of this zone. I'm going to go back to that. Right here. You can see this, we're kind of holding here, this 98.14 area here. Good solid area here. Other than that, everything's been relatively quiet, although we will jump to the cross rates. So, you can see here that the Euro Aussie, we actually had our bias chart support here for the Euro odd coming in at 60.42. And there's a potential to get to 60.26. Amanda, who's been short, and she's been selling this thing, actually covered, I think, at 60.52, I think it was. Very good area here where she covered. And we're looking here that for the bias chart support to drop down, and we're looking for 42 with possibly a stretch to 60.26 right here. 60.26 was just a little bit lower, but you can see right there 60.42, but we came up just a little bit shy of that. I think the low was, let's see, the low came in at 60.48. So we're looking for 42 on the bias chart support this morning. And stopped at 60.48. I know Amanda herself covered at 60.53 or 52, I think it was, on here. So a nice little pullback here in the Euro odd here. Same thing, we're getting a little bit of traction here with the Euro Kiwi, but we have seen the Aussie yen continue to go in and move up a little bit higher, but we have kind of pushed ourselves into, we actually gave it the benefit of the doubt. Here on the analysis for the weekend, we put Aussie yen is broken above a month-long range, allowing for a challenge of 74.02 with initial resistance at 73.32. Well, we were just above that 73.32, so we gave it a little bit of a, the benefit of the doubt. but we've come back and started to roll back down again. Support is the breakout level of 72.56, but right now we have our bias chart support coming in at 72.83. So we're trying to give it the benefit down, see if we might be able to push up a little bit higher, but no, it's started to run out of gas a little bit here, but overall still doing fairly well after being dead for so long. You remember here, we just were not moving at all here with the Aussie yen here. You can see that, look how long that was. And we finally started breaking out, and you can see when these exponential moving averages turn, boy, do we get a good signal, which was my concern here with the dollar Swiss. Yes, good hanging man on there, but I still wanted to keep track of this euro Swissy. Right now, the dollar Swiss is at 98.98, so good news if you're short. I mean, in the sense that you don't want to close above 99.02 if you're short. I'd rather just go when you have a little bit more momentum, especially in a very quiet market. Euro yen made a little bit of a push. We'll continue to move a little bit higher with the euro yen going into this week. We said the euro yen has closed at new lows on its way to 16.20. Well, that was actually from the, I guess I didn't update that one. I'll pull it up on the daily and we'll show it here to you. I usually put the little thing for the daily as well as into the 2 hour. And here's the analysis for the week on that. Here, let's pull it up. Euro yen has bounced off the lows, but struggled with the 1830 level. And you can see that, the 1830 level. The pair is just above the weekly level of 1770. A daily close above 1830 sends the pair to challenge 1927. Well, you can see the 1927 right here. Right there, you see that? A little bit more. It's a little bit higher here. There you go, 1927, got so 1928 off by pip. There you go, 1927. But you can see this 1830. If we can get a daily close above that, but we'll move into the 2 hour right quick. So you can see we're just at about here above 1840 right now. Good solid level here. We'll see whether or not we can hold that or not, but you can see once again why I like the exponential moving averages, because once these things start to trend, now sometimes you get into a chop zone in here and you have to look, you kind of piece it together. Okay, so when you're in a zone like this, you can get popped in and popped out backwards and forwards. But let's say when this market is breaking and you can see how the moving averages are following it along the way. But when you get to an area where you can see here, you got a little mini hammer and maybe the market's a little bit oversold. And once you get this cross here, and really obviously it's an exponential moving average, it's certainly going to be a little bit slower. So this cross came on this move here. But at that point, you think, well, I missed part of the move. Well, once again, the market was already oversold. You're thinking, can it break any lower? And you think, you know what? I want to be a buyer now on dips. Or I definitely don't want to be a seller. So at the very least, which has always helped me, although sometimes I even ignored it, but it's helped. One of the things that the exponential moving has helped me is keep me out of getting in trouble. And I'll give you an example where I'll give you an example here where let's say the euro yen's rallying. I'm like, okay, great, now's the time to short it. Wait a minute, we just established a nice little buy signal. So before you hold your horses, Roy Rogers, before you go in and start trying to short this thing is really after a big move down and we get the crossover. People are going to be trying to pick up this on dips for two reasons. You're going to have some people are going to be value buyers, some people are going to straight up technical traders. And also, anybody who's been short this market, the higher we go, they'll be looking to cover. So you feel more. Now, so you got a pretty good run up in here, got a nice little shooting star, and you saw the market pair back, but it didn't pair back that much. Look where they found the support at the slower exponential moving average. So, you might be thinking, this is a great area to have exited, would have been a great area to short. Yeah, it was made a little bit, but look, after a long, protracted move, people who are short now are looking to buy on any kind of dips. And anybody who might have been short, like let's say they came in shorted against this area thinking, man, I just want to just try and get back close to even so I can get out. So you can see where in some ways the psychology of the market can work that way in the sense that you want to use these exponential moving averages in multiple ways. Once again, for me, who quite often I come in real quick and try and dance in and out of the market, where they've helped me the most, and sometimes I kind of kick myself for not paying attention to when you see a good move like this, is at least to try to keep myself out of trouble by trying to come in and quickly short the market. Okay, we had a good rally, now let me short it. Yeah, you can see here, we just barely pulled back and here goes the market launching again. You see what I'm saying? So at this point, then it tells you, hey, wait a minute. You know, this has already been a long protracted move. We generate a buy signal. There's going to be not only one value buyers, okay? Then there's going to be two people that are going straight with the technicals and go with the momentum, and three people that may be short to be saying, hey, look, I'm looking for A's. If it gets beyond this area, I'm covered. If it gets beyond this area, I'm covered, who may be short from way up here or here. So that's where you can use these exponential moving averages to your advantage because, like I said, for me, I pretty much go with the chart patterns, and then I use I'll go with some confluence with Fibonacci. And also I try and look at other pairs, what other pairs are doing. We talked about that with the Swissy, you know, I mean, with the dollar Swiss. When I said, wait a minute, you know, I got short the Swiss, I'm like, oh, well, this isn't good. The Euro Swiss is kind of breaking out. Now they're two different pairs, but it's still showing some strength. Now the Euro was also gained against the dollar at the time, but nonetheless, I ended up saying, you know what, I'll get out and I'll let the market, you know, I'll reassess it and see if we get some more momentum because the market was still moving higher and the dollar Swiss is on a buy signal on the exponential moving averages. So anyway, thought I'd just offer you there. Other than that, it's been relatively quiet. We'll jump back into the main screen. After the cable had actually moved off of these lows, I believe it's on 15-minute. Why? You know, I'll tell you what, a good time to trade is during the European session, as far as you get some pretty good movements. Now we certainly saw that with cable, and also we had good economic data that came out. We saw Roundup. Then we turn around, we come all the way right back again, and then we get some headline news. I know Burkhow's he's going to be looking to resign. So we go and drop, and then this thing quickly jumps back, but now we're just dead in the water now. And everything is relatively quiet. Only thing is here with the dollar CAD, we have broken lower. It looks like we can work a little bit lower. Now we are into the 61%, but we have opened the door for us to move lower here, and we'll finish up with the dollar CAD. A moment. So the dollar CAD broke key support level of 32 even. That was from Friday. But I mean, this is the analysis from the weekend coming into this week. Allowing for a challenge of 30.43. You see that level there. Initial support is 31.36. You saw it. We just almost hit 31.36. Resistance is 32.36. A daily close above 32.52 will neutralize the downside momentum. So here we are, 31.36. We came pretty doggone close to that too. Let's see. The low was 31.39. Okay, not bad. Up by 3 pips. And that was the analysis we had actually from Sunday that I do as we start the week out for basic technical. If you're a member with ForexAnalytix, you know, like I said, you get different forms of, you know, with the analysis, you've got harmonics, Elliott wave, basic technical, macro. I do the basic technical. I'll do it as we start for the week. Blake does it all through the week, although I'll be dropping in some basic technical during the Asian session also. So once again, thanks for joining us here on the FX Daily Roundup with ForexAnalytix, and good luck with the rest of the trading day.